What's good, everybody? Welcome to Hope Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about ISS. So, saw this trailer at the end of 2023, and I was anticipating getting to look at this movie. And I do think that this movie is a good movie. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, and I will talk about the positives and the negatives of the film. So, let's go ahead and get to it. Starting off with that rating on my scale, it is good. It could have been great. It had great potential, but it was executed well. I really enjoyed it. It just had a few pacing issues and a few investment issues that limited the movie, in my opinion. So let's talk positives first. First, I want to say that the concept is really cool. You have political rivals that are in a shared space, bonded over time so closely that the political stuff that's happening down on Earth is really, really small compared to the bonds that these people have built over time. Visually, the movie is beautiful. I think that it's shot very well. Technically, on that technical side of the visuals, it's amazing as well because I kind of forgot that they aren't really in space. Like they are on a studio lot somewhere shooting this, and the special effects just look so good that I actually thought that I was watching a movie of people in space. The acting part of the visual category, very strong here too. I feel like all the roles were carried out very well, but there were a few issues when it came to the connections of the characters, and that's not acting, that's just writing and pacing and stuff like that. So let's move from the positives into the negatives. And for me, it's pretty simple. The speed and pace of the film took away from it quite a bit. This movie is about an hour and a half long, maybe like an hour and 40, 45 minutes if you're talking about including the credits and the runtime. But it's about an hour and a half and it feels pretty quick. But that's a negative to me, not because I needed the movie to be longer, but this movie hinges on relationships and the decisions that the characters are making based on the relationships that they have built being in the space station, working in close, confined space with people from another country. And so many big moments hinge on relationships, and they don't feel well established here. They feel relatively rushed. I wouldn't say that the rushed feeling that I got when watching the movie ruins the movie. It's still a good, enjoyable experience, but it does lower the score and it takes it out of the great category because if we had spent more time with more people, we would have felt that connection much stronger. And we kind of got hints of it and we got a few confirmations of that relationship, but we never necessarily felt it in all the different facets that were shown in the film. And I have a whole nother example away from what was happening on the space station, and that's the connection to the ground. That part of the film was absent, and I think that the movie would have been thrust into the great category had we had some more connectivity to the ground. We had characters who talked about, having family back home and wanting to live and survive and meet that family again and see my daughters again. And you heard commands and you saw the screen give commands from the ground, but we don't have any connection to those people. Like, who are the people on the ground? What is the conflict between the United States and Russia? Why did things devolve the way they devolved? And we get our characters that we in the space station having to deal with this horrible conflict. If we would have got more context to all those other things, saw some family members of these people before they came to the space station, maybe it would have mattered more in some of the big moments. Because of the lack of connection to what was happening on the ground or that lack of relationship, real building the relationship between the characters, a lot of the actions that happened felt slightly inconsequential. And because of that, again, the movie is not in the great category when it clearly could have been. Wrapping up here, overall, I think the movie is a good time. It's just not a great, super memorable film because we don't have that connection to a lot of the ancillary stuff that you want to have in a movie that has stakes so high. So those are my thoughts on it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. I would recommend it to people because it's a quick little thrill ride that you go on, but it would be a bit more thrilling had we had a bit more connection between characters and from the space station to the ground. But let me know your thoughts on the movie if you choose to do so in the comment section. And that's all we have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.